Come out of the box.
Hello YouTube, cheers, and welcome to the basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
And I'm D-Boy Slim.
And the basement is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, basement family. Today we ask, can you be too old to rap? Okay? Can you be too old to rap? And if so, how old is that? For instance, Spice One. Treach. Okay? This is what sparks this conversation. It's going to be quick. It's going to be easy. But they came back out, with a diss song against Flex, and they sound like Spice One, and they sounded like Treach. Like, honestly, like them from back then. Some like it, some don't. Anyway, as always, press the subscribe button. Let us know you love real hip-hop debate like we do. Also, the link is in the description on how to purchase the beats that you hear all throughout today's episode, and every episode for that matter. Anyway, today's question: can you be too old to rap? And when is that? With that being said, legal.
We back. Today's debate: can you be too old to rap? And if so, then what age is that?
How old is Spice One?
I'm not sure.
It's probably that age right there.
He's old.
That's about the age.
He's old.
Yep.
As a matter of fact,
that's the age I'm talking about. That's when you're too old to rap.
Let me do some homework on that.
You know? I'll check it out. You keep talking. I got you.
You do some homework on that. But no, that's silly. You're never too old to rap. You're never too old to contribute to hip hop, and because as long as you have something to say of some type of substance, as long as you have something to contribute, whether it be a new slang, new dance, whatever it is that you have to add on to the culture, I don't think that there are any age restrictions on that, contrary to popular belief, because hip-hop is the only genre that goes into that. Oh, he's old, and I think as time goes by, the young kids subscribe to that, like, oh, he's too old to be doing this. Why is he let me give a couple examples of why, if you still have good music to drop, then it's okay. My man mentioned the other day.
You want to know how old he is?
How old is Spice One?
46. Born July 2nd, 1970.
He's still young. Jay-Z's 47. My point is, my man mentioned the other day the Chuck D's new group, and I think that's Rage Against the Machine. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right, Rage Against the Machine. Mm-hmm. And me and Bruce, we were talking and about the demographic and the audience that actually listens to that particular type of music, which is interesting that we're having this conversation now. What's too old, or is there an age restriction? Mm-hmm. Chuck D is 56 years old.
Yeah, and he's still banging it.
I'll say that again. Chuck D is 56 years old. And I brought up Chuck D because I didn't want to harp on Jay-Z, because in my book and a lot of people's book, Jay-Z is the best of the best, and so you would say he's the exception.
Right.
So I could understand when somebody say, well, he may be the only one that could do that. That's like Michael Jordan playing at 35, 36. He may be the only Kobe playing at such an old age at such a high level. So I didn't want to harp on Jay-Z, although Jay-Z is 47, and we just heard he has a song on the radio now with Beyonce and Khaled. Shining, shining, shining. It might be one of the number one songs on the radio right now. He did it last year with Future and Khaled again with the keys. I got the keys. So I said all that to say, you know, Jay-Z's still at the top of his game, and he's 47, born in 69. Go ahead.
Let me say this then. You cannot be too old for hip hop. You cannot be too old for hip hop. You can transition to mixing, mastering, recording, playing an instrument. You can do shows of your old music as Chuck D does. Because Rage Against the Machine has old music, and he has old music with Public Enemy. And they basically go on the road and do those old musics for those crowds that are that age. You cannot be too old for hip hop. You can, however, be too old to rap. That doesn't mean you have to be. It doesn't mean that there is an age. 46, 47, well, that's the deadline. If you're 90, well, that's the deadline. Honestly, you're probably not, you don't want to be doing that at 90. You should probably be sitting and relaxing somewhere. But there's no set age.
Don't subscribe to that, y'all.
No.
Don't subscribe to that.
That's what's up.
You're not too old to rap. Let me give a couple of examples.
Wait a minute, though.
Why you're never too old to
But
rap.
what I'm saying is, though, I'll let you give those examples. All I'm saying is, you can be too old to rap. You can be too old to rap when you're putting out new songs that sound like 30 years ago. By the words of my man, Ad Rock, one of the pioneers of this hip-hop thing, on Sway in the Morning a few years ago.
If you're making rock music right now, you have to love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Rap music, a 20-year-old does not care about Public Enemy. I know that could be blasphemous, but it's the truth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truth, and that's fine. And that's why rap music is so different and special, because it's so current.
Mm-hmm. Very timely, right?
It's very current and very timely, and it's always constantly changing and evolving. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's the whole thing of like kids today. The kids today don't give a shit what I think, and that's why I love that. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
We might hate what we call mumble rap, but guess what? It's moving the culture this way all the time, forward. And that's what it is. The kids don't want to hear it. So if you're Jay-Z and you're talented enough, more power to you. If you're Nas and you're talented enough, more power to you. If you're in hip-hop at all and you want to become a DJ and a producer, you want to transfer to the beats, maybe you want to become an executive, a mogul. You want to be a Puff Daddy, you want to be a Dr. Dre. You can do this hip-hop forever. Spice One. If you're not that good, you have to sit it down. Do something, get behind the scenes, manage somebody. Do something else. Because you sound like you did in 90s.
Again, if you have a contribution.
You too, Treach. I loved you, man. I still do.
If you have contribution, if you have something to contribute to the culture, the problem with it is that some don't know. It's like a ball player or a boxer who doesn't know that he's old or outdated in his rap flow. The flow it sounds outdated. That's the whole problem. But again, that doesn't apply for everybody. E40 is 49 years old. Just a couple of years ago, he had that song Choices. Everybody has choices. You ever smoke weed? Yep. Go back to the trap? Yep. You ever snitch? Nope. You see what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. And the young dudes can knock that just as well as the old dudes. I would even go so far as to say and flip it and say, sometimes you may be too young to rap. Like, we've coined the phrase about mumble rap and people not even understanding.
No, you can't be too young to rap, man.
Like we basically handed the culture over to the young crowd and say, here, you drive the car, and some of these kids don't know how to drive. So hold on a second. So therefore you could debate that. The kid too, and we tend to follow what the young kids are doing because we say it's innovating. This hasn't been done before. We haven't heard this sound before. Whatever have you. My thing has always been the quality of the music. The quality of the music, which has nothing to do with your age. Furthermore, as I started off by saying, we're the only genre that does that. When you go over to R&B, when you go over to rhythm and blues, when you go over to pop, when you go to any other genre, nobody says, yo, you're too old to be doing this. Nobody would ever tell Prince or Michael Jackson, you're too old to be doing this. No one would ever tell Whitney Houston, you're too old to be doing this. That this doesn't happen. It's our genre. And it's a silly stigma. Oh, he's too old to be rapping. Why is that? Because you wear your clothes different or you say something different than they said?
If they wear dresses now, man.
If you have
Times
something,
have changed.
if you have something to say, a la The Roots, Questlove and Black Thought. These are guys, like I said, if you have something to say, then like I said, by all means, you should come out and let that breathe, let that be known, add on, bring that substance, because that's what the game is lacking. When you hear people talk about and always referring back to the glory days of hip hop, it's because there's a lack of substance in the music right now. Nobody's hating on the younger guys. Nobody's saying they don't do what they do or not even make so much as make good music. But there's an agreed and there's a consensus that there's a lack of substance in the music right now. And this is where, like I said, I think we do need more older people to offset and balance what it is that, whatever it is, wherever the young kids are at today. Because Waka Flocka be here today, Chief Keef will be here today, Little Uzi Vert and Little Yachty be here tomorrow. Like, these kids come and go. We still talking about Tupac from 20 years ago.
You still talking about Tupac?
No, we
still
talking about Tupac. Hip hop is still talking about Tupac. There's a movie coming out about Tupac. You tell me.
It's a movie about George Washington. There's a movie about the Civil War too. Like they're right. Important pieces of history. But the rappers, bro, I feel you. You sound like an old head, and I can't. What you want me to say? What you want me to say? I'm not 19. I feel you, fam.
How could I sound like a 19-year-old?
I exactly. But hip hop, believe it or not, unfortunately or fortunately,
but that's my whole point.
I think the main reason why hip hop has taken over so fast, as you stated in a debate a few debates ago, the reason why hip hop has done what it's done, the reason why it is so different from the other genres, just like it has the type of rivalry that you can have between two people, live on wax, that you can't have in any other genre. It also has this thing that keeps it current, which is old music,
which is fine.
Doesn't matter.
But what we do know is that it do though.
Because it does, but it doesn't have
you wouldn't have J. Cole, one of our best artists of this era and this generation, saying, "I let Nas down." You understand what I'm saying? They do care about the music. Some of them do care about the music. Most of the quality ones, and not you say what's current keeps it intact and moving forward. I say it's the ones that paid attention and that are traditions of the students of tradition that keep the game intact.
It's a fair point.
That keep the game intact. You think Kendrick Lamar don't know who Andre 3000 and Eminem is when he's a direct reflection of them?
That's a fair point.
Eminem, by the way, is 44. Eminem, I'll say that again. Eminem, by the way, is 44.
You know what? And you can never be too old for hip hop.
You're not too old to rap.
All I can tell you is,
because Eminem, if he came out, he dropped yesterday.
When the culture is moving,
Gucci has hot songs on the radio right now. Currently, he's 37.
Listen, if the music is going toward Lil Yachty,
that's a fact.
Dresses and skirts, and Lil Uzi Vert with his dresses and skirts. Bow Wow lying about his plane. There's only a certain amount of people who are good enough to be rapping in this type of environment.
My point is
and
that
I feel
it can be done.
But also you can also be too old to rap.
It has
Spice
been
One
done.
and
But
Trap.
I agree with that. That's just like my point. Like I said on the flip side, you could be too young to rap. You see? That's just like my point. You could be, but can it be done?
Okay.
It was the question.
But can it be done? Okay. It was the question. Bow Wow was one of those.
Can you be
good.
too old to rap?
At like 10. Yeah. All right. There you go.
It can be done. Y'all let us know what y'all think.
That's the debate. It's a quick one. It's a drive-by. It's a run-by. If it is an age, it's way up there. But I hear what you're saying. You have good points. I think the point is you have to know when you're too old to rap. You can be too old to rap, and you have to be cognizant enough to know that my style
When
is
it's
not
time to
fitting
hang
in.
it up.
I need to hang it up. You're right.
Again, if you did have something
But
to
you can.
if you do have something to contribute though, and you do still have a sound that people want to hear, you do still have a flow that people can embrace and adapt to or enjoy.
And don't forget,
There's no age.
you're never too old for hip hop.
There's no age limit to that.
There's 1,000 million things you can do to be a hip hop artist and to get that creativity out too.
Facts.
So y'all,
And with that,
because you think that you can't rap again,
hit Bruce up for them beats too, and you might hear D-Boy Slim on a freestyle or two. You're never too old to rap. And on that note, any shout outs, Bruce?
Tribe of Gad 2020, F New York, and F Master Dickhead F You Bitch. Y'all going in on Flex. That's what's up. Thank you, Tribe of Gad 2020. 0 to 100 podcast, DMV. Man, we got to check you out. Check out that podcast. You said, Wadi Umi, which is another subscriber he's talking to. Yeah, been heard about that he shot himself theory. Okay, shot himself one time, reached for the gun. So what? He was ready. He just moved too fast. And I guess really he just... We went through all of this, episode 65. Please go check it out. 0 to 100 podcast DMV. Basically what you're saying is F Funk Flex, like everybody else has been saying, or most people have been saying.
He lied. That was the point. He lied.
Thank you, 0 to 100 podcast.
Appreciate the comments.
DMV. Miguel Reyes. Man, I didn't put the one that I really liked on here because I thought this one was good. But the one I really liked was you saying, you don't mess with podcasts and we're your first one. Psh, humbled. Be humbled. But anyway, you said Pac did know who Flex was in an interview. He said New York radio station was making fun of LA niggas, like saying shit like, what up, dog? And
Facts. I
right.
remember that, and we was just discussing it.
And he said it was DJs like Red Alert and Flex. But that's about all that he said. Facts. Thank you, Miguel Reyes.
Appreciate the comments.
Yeah, appreciate the comments. We love informed comments. I love Fat Pussy 11722. This is, I think, the second time I've shouted you out.
Shit, stack bundles.
But your top 5 of the people who've passed
Sean Price,
smashed it
Pimp
because
C, Big L, and Big Pun. I love it.
Sean
I love
Price.
It. You want it?
Man,
that's what we do the show for y'all right there.
I didn't get to write it down, but Alke Balan, you know who you are. You had a really good one too. We'll put it up on Fridays. But I'll get to you, Alke Balan.
I love Fat Pussy. I appreciate the comment.
Yeah, man, definitely. With that being said, we out of here, man.
To the next time.
Peace.